Yeah. So that was Future of Play. And then literally, well, actually, no, there was a time. There was a break. We had the one break of the day was in between Future of Play and Wholesome Games. We got to like just kind of simmer for a little bit. But then the onslaught began with Wholesome Games. Let me turn this down.
You know, I'm giving that break to Future Play. They put that break in there for us.
They gave us that, so that bumps them up to an
exactly.
A+++.
S tier showcase.
Wholesome Direct, I want to point out, also having the timestamp breakout. So
bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Wholesome Direct. I mean, what can we say? It's a fan favorite. It's a VGG favorite every year. We love our Wholesome games. And it had some amazing games this year. It was a lot of, I think, you know, we're seeing that a lot. Is a lot of games that were announced. We're getting like the proper like release dates. We're getting deeper dives at the gameplay. And so there was a lot of that. There was a lot of surprises in here as well, though. Truly just an exciting time. There was a playdate section in here that I loved.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I the one thing I will say is really cool this year is they've been expanding the like guest host roster. For, you know, it started out with Jenny Wyndham and then I think Victoria Tran was like one of the hosts early on, and then Jenny, and then Gab Smolders came in, a YouTuber, and then this year they were like Gab Smolders, you know, and Cozy K, and you know, all these like a ton of cozy and wholesome content creators on YouTube came in and were able to help announce some games, and that's really cool of them to see them, you know, embrace the community that has been, that, you know, I'm not gonna say wholly Wholesome is responsible for building it, but like by giving like everyone a hub of that love, like it's really helped solidify that community in ways that's even cooler, and having them be part of events like this really helps it as well. It looks like we've lost Fish, but Fern, how'd you feel about this year's Wholesome Direct?
It was another really strong one. Probably my second best show, my second best operative. Yeah, I think we actually saw like a decent amount of stuff that was new to me, and that was really exciting. And yeah, and like you said, saw some follow-up, saw several, I think we had like 4 or 5 like out now games.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Shadow drops.
That was really cool.
That's always exciting too. Yeah.
Fish,
good show.
How'd you feel about this year's edition of the Wholesome Direct?
It was pretty dang good. I enjoyed, just to piggyback off of that, I enjoyed that there was games in there that were just like, they're out now. So like a lot of people who are like, who usually have the complaint of like, you know, these games aren't coming out for a year or two, like I can't play anything right now. They were just like, we got you covered. You need a game right now, we have 5 of them for you. Yeah. Bunch of games that we've seen before, but we got a little bit more in depth on, or a date or something. So it's good to see all of those, and it's always a good time getting all these creators in here to host these things, just because you know, more eyes on creators, on content creators and stuff, and you know, supporting indie devs.
Yeah. What was the other thing? I feel like this was also so Future Play was great, and you know, there was a few with demos, and like you said, a few that are just out, but this was, I think, the beginning of the onslaught of wait, demo? Yeah. Wait, demo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh god. And I really want to shout out how Wholesome, I don't know if they're like, I don't know who can take the credit here, but we see that this trend continues into all the other shows. They have this little badge that'll come up so that like the trailer itself doesn't have to say, hey, there's a demo, you know. It's just a badge that pops up in the upper left saying demo out now, and give you all the details through these chirons that they have that look beautiful as well. Like they have a good production, and if it is like that, because all the other shows had similar kind of design of chiron and the demo badge, like whoever worked to establish kind of that standard across these shows, like great job, because it really helped make these shows that much easier to follow. Sometimes it had more information than the trailer had, like, so sometimes there'll be games that would say release date 2024, then in the chiron it'd be like Q4 2024, Q3 2024, you know. So I really appreciated that. And Yeah.
One more shout out on the show side. Just, multiple times reiterating about their shirts that are for sale,
100%.
which are benefiting, sales are benefiting the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. Like, that's the only place that we've seen any mention of like support for Palestine.
And so it's like, one, wow, they mentioned it at all. Two,
Their sales
doubled,
going to.
tripled, quadrupled. Like they just kept saying, "Hey, no, fucking please buy our stuff to help support." $6 of every purchase. It's like a flat. It's not like a percentage of. It's $6 for every purchase. Goes to PCRF, which is so cool. They have a shirt. They have a mouse pad. They have several shirts, I think. I think if you just buy any of the stuff in their store, it goes to that. That might need a fact check, but at least for sure, this year's shirt, this year's mouse pad, that all goes straight to PCRF. $6 of it goes to PCRF. Just genuinely like a great, like, it's, you're in the right company. You know what I mean? Like, there's no like, if only they did this, if only, like they're covering their ground with that and doing the right thing, Shall we hop into our spotlights?
We shall.
All right, I will open today with, let me look at my list. Yes. I have picked Discounty.
Boo, big corporation, boo.
Well, see, that's what you think. That's what you think this is. But Discounty is a kind of, it's not really a farming sim, it's a shop sim game. It is a life sim as you live out your days here in this town. You are the new owner of a franchise of Discounty, which is like kind of a big box store kind of thing, but you're in this small town, and you get to decide if you are going to make your Discounty for the people of this community or if you're chasing profits. And it's truly up to you to decide that. How you want to arrange your store, all of this stuff is up to you. And I just think it's really interesting to see like a game that has kind of, it's not like not wholesome vibes, but like, you're a big box store. Like, that's not the kind of thing you normally, they're the villains in Stardew Valley. They're the, but now you're part of it. And so like, it's now, okay, now that you're part of it, what do you do with that? How do you take that? Where do you go with that? And I think that's just such an interesting concept. This has been shown a few different times, but I thought this was like probably their best trailer yet. They talk about how the people of the town, they become either, you build those friendships like you would in the Stardew Valley, or you turn them into rivals because you're running shops out of business. You're buying up all the resources. So I'd be really interesting to see, like, can you reinvest your income into the town and like bring back, we see like shut down stores. Like, can you like be like, hey, we're doing well over here at Discounty. As the franchise owner, I want to help you get back on your feet. Like, can you do that kind of thing? And then like, how does that work with, like, do you have to have a push and pull with your corporate overlords, right? Like, how much do you now then have to like turn back to them and be like, ugh, I'm so sorry. Like, sorry, boss. Like, don't worry about it. We're going to figure this out. Like, can you have to like very difficultly meet deadlines with your corporate overlords versus, helping out the locals? And so it's just like, there's tons of potential here. And I liked the emphasis on the customizing of your store, like the layout, what you put up, what you're selling, is really cool. Yeah, you can hire staff, which was a really interesting aspect as well. And like, so that balancing, you see here, this person's storming out. Like, are they quitting because you're too corporate? Are they quitting because you're not corporate enough? Like, who knows? We see here again, VGG doing the analysis. We see here on the bottom left, we see grandma's shopping list. Like, do we see that ahead of time and know, like, okay, we need to make sure we have these things? And is that a way that you build that relationship with the townsfolk? Who knows? Maybe it's like a delivery order too. Like, you get that in and you have to go pick that up. And if you don't, you can ignore it. And, like, there's just so much potential in this concept. And, the look at this. Oh, this is great. There's a mini game here. I didn't even catch this. There's a mini game while you're checking people out of making sure you scan the barcodes of each thing, and the barcode is on a different place for every kind of item. So you're like looking over to the left and having to make sure you're scanning the right bits. And yeah, it just looks so good. Looks so cool. As someone who worked at a big box store once, like this scene of like cleaning out the truck, I remember that vibe. Yeah, man, this looks really cool. This was a really great trailer for it. Excited to see more. Again, just excited to see how some of these concepts come together, you know, for what is ostensibly supposed to be a wholesome game, right? I just like to see games testing the, you know, what is wholesome and what can you do with difficult situations. Like, you are a corporate underling, you know, like how does that manifest? So
testing your morality.
Yeah. I think this looks really cool. Anybody got anything on discounting?
I mean, this is right up my alley. I do love a sim, a little cute little sim, and I mean, it's unique to have the choice of being like, do you want to be for the people or do you want to be for the profit? And just you know, fan of like supermarket sim, fan of the tiny tower type games. So being able to do all that is very exciting, and having a unique perspective on it is going to be a fun time, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, same here. I'm really excited for this one. Your speculation and your questions about, you know, what all it's gonna take to keep this open and keep people happy has me like even more interested, and, you know, thinking about it even more. Like you were saying, you have to have you have employees that you hire, you know, you're also probably, you know, supporting their livelihood in some way. Maybe that's part of like, could be something you have to factor into, like, are they making enough to
while
make
you're
a living?
supporting the town?
Yeah,
you know?
like, are you balancing your employees' needs with the town's needs too by not by expanding or not?
Right?
There's a lot of potential.
That's a great segue for me. My last thing I wanted to say is, like, I wonder how many people are going to go in here being like, I'm going to be for the town, I'm going to be a good guy, and then like find themselves tempted by like, oh shit, if I want to get an upgrade for my house, I could just pocket this money. You know what I mean? Like, suddenly it's like you get pulled into the dangerous allure of capitalism, baby.
No Christmas bonuses for my employees this year, I guess.
But I get a cool new hat.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the thing too. Like, you're probably, you know, you're wanting to see as much of the game's content as possible. So are you gonna make those decisions to like go to the dark side because you're like, I just want to experience everything in the game?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, people do Joja runs. People, you know, I'm sure you could just easily do another save,
multiple,
and change up your approach. But yeah, tons of potential here. Again, like, you know, don't want to like overdo my like speculation and then like be like, oh no, like it's not that game. But I think, you know, even just from what they've shown, like there's already just so much potential in what you can do here, and it just looks great. Shout out Discounty.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Little old me.
All right, I'll go to Tiny Bookshop, guys. Wait, what? Not Tiny Bookshop?
What the
We already
hell?
talked about Tiny Bookshop. We talked about it last year. Mine for Wholesome is going to be On Your Tail, which was a brand new game to me. There you go. Brand new game to me. It's a little anthropomorphic, kind of like cozy detective sleuthing story life sim. Like, there was a lot here. First of all, it's just like a beautiful, like vibrant, cozy looking game. Like, it just looks in line with like everything I'm looking for when I'm looking for like a cute little escapism type of game.
So many little details I'm picking
I
up
know,
on.
yeah. There's
I know.
a
I'm
lot
rewatching
here.
the trailer too. I'm like, oh,
There's like
okay.
all these mini games. There was cooking. There's these little playing games. I'm guessing you're like stargazing here. So, you know, really just all these kinds of like cozy, like life sim, you know, you're just living your life being part of this town. But then there's this sort of mystery story we see here. You're like, there's these dioramas as you're trying to like piece together the mystery that you're trying to solve. So like really taking that idea of like a cozy detective story and like upping the coziness to like 12. Looks like it's planned for release in 2024. It looks like you're actually vacationing in this area, so you're not like local to the area. So I guess you're coming in and solving this mystery, but yeah, it just looks really amazing. It stood out to me a lot. You know, I think it's probably something I'll buy as soon as it comes out. And it looks like there's a lot to experience in it. Looks like
Demo
there
out
you're
now.
maybe like buying
That's what I
movie
was
tickets or something.
I'll talk about it when I get there. Are you good? Potentially non-Italian furry. I think we're not Italian. I think maybe they're Italian. Because we're in Borgo Marina.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen this on socials a few times. One of the things that immediately I'm curious about is like, what's the balance between life sim? Do they say like life sim specific?
Yeah.
So what's this balance between life sim and like the detective and the pure narrative? Like, you know, I think that's another thing that has me intrigued about Discounty and now this game is blending more narrative elements into what is traditionally kind of like a, you know, okay, I got to do my tasks for the day, you know, like it's just that kind of game. But now it's like, no, I got to solve this mystery, you know. And how does that work with, you know, act 1, act 2, act 3 narrative structure, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm very curious.
Their Steam page mentions like you unravel the truth through some strategically engaging card game inspired gameplay, and you also get some like clues toward the mystery from your conversations with people. So, you know, it seems like interacting in the town is going to help you sleuth out the story. But they also say that it's like a leisurely sandbox and how you spend your summer is up to you. So it seems like there's a lot of freedom to just like explore all of these many little activities and mini games and stuff. So
Just see a crime, you're like, I'm on vacation, so
I'm actually
I
just
didn't see
visiting,
shit.
so that's not a problem.
Yeah. So just first thing I noticed, was this. I think maybe me and Fish saw this at the same time. Like you buying a movie and then you like on a date or something, watching it with someone. And that's really interesting. Like, okay, there's a little more juice, if you will, in this game. Fishing mini game.
Always gonna buy it. It's got cooking and fishing. I'm there.
Coloring book. This looks like bocce ball of some kind. Yeah, like just so much going on here. And then you brought up the detective stuff with the card game. I'm very curious how this works. You can see here there's like the slots at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're gathering the clues of these cards throughout, you know, you met a girl and it's like, oh, you got a card, a timid girl, you know. Like is it you're then you get to the scene and you have to piece together, like you put the cards down in front of you and you're like, okay, so the timid girl went because of the storm, went to this house, and then she ran into the mystery murderer or whatever this guy is.
They're a thief. It's no
thief,
murder.
thief.
Don't worry.
No
worry.
murders.
It's chill.
no murder.
So I'm just
What murder?
I'm really curious to see how that all works out. It looks really interesting, like the mystery aspect with this board game kind of aesthetic. Yeah, I love a game. If you have any idea with VGG's only 10 out of 10 for the year, which is Yakuza or Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I love a game that contains multitudes. I love a game that has so much going on. And so like, to see here all these mini games, cooking mini games, fishing, Stargate, like, and then you're solving a mystery, you know, like I'm so in for that. I love the aesthetic. I love the town. We are embracing the furry spirit this year, I think.
There's a lot of great anthropomorphic games out there.
Yeah.
Fish, you got
No,
anything?
I mean I'm on board with all of it. Like I just saying, we're embracing the furry spirit this year with all these games. I love that there's just so much to it. Like it is truly, it seems like to be a life sim at heart with all the mystery and the detective stuff now too added on top of it. And you know, I'm all for taking a little vacation and having a little adventure on that vacation. You know, and going swimming in the Italian Bay, the Italian Ocean there.
Yeah, I noticed. Weird when the character went swimming, you really perked up for some reason. When
that part of the trailer is really long too. Like I keep it keeps going back to that part of the trailer.
It's weird. How's it? And
Yeah,
it's
so it's
glitching
weird.
on your YouTube or something.
Yeah, like it just keeps replaying that part. Especially that part with Mama Lucia there too. Just keeps replaying.
Yeah. On your tail.
Demo's out now.
Demo out now.
Yeah,
that is one I'm gonna prioritize.
I know. I'm
really
just
wanna hop into that.
There's two, like we have so much work we have to do post stream and all of that, but it's also like I want to play some of these. You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting to that work, Fish, what is your game for the Wholesome Direct?
Speaking of going on vacation, my next game is about another person going on vacation. Except instead of Italy, they're going to the Alps. The Alps in a little town called Hinterberg, and in Hinterberg,
there we go.
There are dungeons. And so this game is called The Dungeons of Hinterberg.
No way.
Good stall.
Yeah. Yeah, so you are, this is a new tourist hotspot in the Austrian Alps. You play as Luisa, a burnt out law trainee taking a break from the corporate life to come and fight in dungeons.
That's cool.
In this Hinterberg. So we've seen this a few times now. I think maybe last year, maybe the year before that as well.
I think it made its debut at Xbox Showcase actually, which is really cool.
Yeah. So this is it's very reminiscent. Well, I mean, first and foremost, the art. The art is just absolutely beautiful. Very unique art style. But at heart, this is a Zelda-like, you can say. Very focused on dungeons, puzzles, and traversal. So this is going to be a very big open world type game. Just from what I've been researching before, like the amount of environments that you can biomes you can go into is insane. You are your mode of traversal is your snowboard because you are in the Alps, so you'll be zipping around with a little snowboard. This trailer that they showed today focuses a lot. You'll see more of the dungeon gameplay because the demo they have out focuses on the dungeons right now. They did have another playtest before, but the demo they have out for Steam Next Fest is going to be focusing on the dungeon gameplay. So there's going to be some puzzles and some combat probably.
Let's take a look.
So that's exciting. But not only that, the puzzles. Unfortunately, we didn't see any of the puzzles, but I was looking at some of the videos from previous playtests and everything. It's not just your typical like what you're seeing right there with like moving an object here and there. They play with perspective a lot. So like if you remember in Tears of the Kingdom where it would the camera would zoom out and you have to physically move like giant blocks of things to make sure things move around. So there's a lot of like playing with perspective and a lot of fun puzzle solving. And on top of that, like that's already sounds great to me, right? I'm like, I love a Zelda. I love a puzzle. I love a combat. On top of that, this is gonna perk up everyone else in the room. A big portion of the game is meeting the locals and building those friendships and bringing those relationships because they're the ones that make you stronger in this. So on top of being an excellent Zelda-like, you will there is a social RPG part of this. So I'm excited about that because I love flirting with people in video games and I love talking to people in video games and I also love a Zelda game. So I'll be for sure picking this up probably day one. Because I'm looking at some of the videos here, like you're literally sitting in a bar chatting someone up and they're like, oh, you learned this from them. And so now when you're out in the world, that now for that upgrade basically. But yeah, join the slaycation is what they're saying because you're out there slaying.
Yeah, I remember when I first started hearing about this, I thought it was just the dungeons, and actually I thought it was more like a dungeon crawler, which was just emphasis on combat, like these little combat arenas. And then I started seeing the puzzles, and then I started seeing the social gameplay, where yeah, it's like during the day you're in the town, you're hanging out, you're saying hi to everybody, you're checking in, building up those relationships, and then later in the day you go into the dungeons and you get all exhausted from what you're doing back there, and you come back and you go, oh man, you can't believe what I just went through. Like that's such a fun gameplay loop. Very when you think of social links and you think of that like social building into the exploration and combat, it's very Persona, and it's just a fun gameplay loop that I just wish more games would implement, because it's just so fun to have. Like, it's the epitome of like my friends are my power, like I keep talking about infinite wealth, but that game, like one of the big aspects is you truly feel like a group of friends that are working together to like stop this crime, and the way you power each other up by building up those social relationships is so cool. And so yeah, I'm so excited for this. I've been we've seen it a few times, like you said, and while we all we're in on this, like you said, like this is probably the first time where it's like, oh, I'm in, like it's been, we've seen it a few times, but like now seeing it fully, like, oh, I'm all the way in on this,
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, I first thought, I was like, oh, it's just a dungeon crawler, like that'll be okay, it'll be kind of fun to jump into. But now reading more and more into it, seeing it this time, I was like, oh, that's more than just combat and dungeon. There's puzzles, and then I read more and more into it, and I was like, oh, social and open world and traversal and everything. I'm like, oh, I'm in now. You got me by the you got me chokehold.
Fern, you have anything?
Not too much to add, no, but same idea for me, same experience. Like it's growing on me a lot. Like the more I learn about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I want to play that.
Hell yeah. So that's it for the Wholesome Direct. Well, just quick shout outs to other things. The one we have to start with, I know I've already saw it in chat. I don't want to, it's not about us, it's about the game itself. But, Tiny Palace on the Hill, or The Palace on the Hill, a game that we covered in the past. Fern here wrote about it for Steam Next Fest one year.
Really? I never would have guessed that you guys have written about this game already.
Yeah. In this launch trailer, which again, the game is so cool. It's about running, your family's tea shop, correct? And maintaining like kind of the farm and the estate, and taking care of the farm animals, and exploring Indian culture. So it's just a really cool game, but then also the really exciting thing that made us freak out while we were watching this, because we love wholesome games, we're always watching wholesome games every year, is we were in this trailer.
Look it.
A love letter to Indian art, history, and stories. Video games are good, right there on the top of the accolades screen here. It always feels so nice, because it's about them, but like when they, it's like we're all supporting each other here, and so like to see them, recognize us recognizing them, is really cool. And they've been really great. They've been they like reply to some of our stuff every once in a while, just like, oh, that looks so cool, like can't wait for that, so excited for you guys, like, yeah,
they're just cool people there.
They're just cool people.
They're just a cool team.
And so recommend. Yeah, just so cool to see that, and I had no concept that might happen, so we're just sitting here watching Wholesome Direct, all of a sudden, and it's us. that's me. That's you, but it's us. Yeah, that was really cool. And then any other quick, see us pop off. We scream at the. It's so funny, because I think even Fish is like, wait, what's happening? Like, we're like,
I looked away, and I was like, wait, what happened?
Let's see.
I'm just taking a quick look. Ooh, Lost and Found Co., I think, was one that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll just say Tiny Bookshop was your game of the show winner last year.
It was.
And it has a demo now, so that's really cool.
I can't wait.
Traveler's Rest, I want to shout out there. Apparently it's been out, which I didn't even know. But as you know, a good tavern keep sim that I'm excited for. I guess they're releasing a huge update in July, and online multiplayer coming after that. So I'm excited about that. I'll probably pick that up and play it myself while I'm waiting for the update.
Wait, did we get that frog?
I don't know if we did.
Chat, I'll
I
allow
was
it.
looking in this trailer for a frog, and I guess I missed it.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
frog.
right there. There it is. I was
Technically,
looking.
mean,
There's 3.
There's 3 frogs right there.
I'll
Do
accept
what you
3.
will,
Glory.
chat.
Go buck wild.
Go bananas. Yeah, go buck wild on frogs.
Yeah, this one was really cool. This is that like hidden object game that has like more of a narrative as well, which is really cool. A pool,
Yeah, pool.
a Suica that is pool based, and so it's just like this screen gets more and more filled with pool balls. Like I'm so in for this. This looks so good. The Suica concept is just so addicting on its own, and so like just having one that feels like a little more active, like you know, like you're trying to arc your shots just right and everything. Like just looks so good. This looks so the wiggling. So good.
When are we getting a pool RPG? That's what I want.
Okay, now we're talking. Traveler's Rest you were talking about here, and then stuff like Ete, again, like stuff that we saw at like previous years, getting bigger things like Ete, getting a release date very soon, as well as July, I think.
Yeah.
Caravan Sandwich was one of the openers of the show, and that looked really great.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Again, another show that's just like kind of go watch the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
There was also like I have the titles here, but there was a chunk of I think like 30 like flash really quick
Yeah.
ones that had a lot of great ones too, but like I'd have to
No.
watch back to really like
Sally was
pull any of
cool.
those out.
That was the
Sally's
one
was
where
cool.
it's a magical ship, and it's like all the kids are the crew, and you're like
2
going from-
grandmas.
Yeah, two grandmas, and that looked really cute.
Hello, Crispy.
Yeah, man.
Hello, Quiz B.
Welcome.
Just
Just doing recap here.
so good.